NFL free agency underway, and the big news in the first hour here is that Kenneth Walker is headed to Kansas City, according to multiple reports, agreeing to a free agent contract. Of course, the Super Bowl MVP, former Michigan State Spartan and Wake Forest Demon Deacon, on his way to Patrick Mahomes' team, which makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense, given their two top running backs were on the free agent market. No news yet to report on the Detroit Lions, but I also like that there's no news on Tyler Linderbaum agreeing to terms anywhere. Should be a lot of suitors for him. Given that the center position, it hasn't dried up, but Tyler Biadasz agreed to a deal with the L.A. Chargers. He was cut. He was not a expiring contract. So those guys that got cut before free agency could sign anywhere and didn't have to wait until agreeing to terms today, which you can do with a team today. You can't sign until Wednesday. The McGovern dude went back to Buffalo, one of the more highly regarded centers on the market, but nothing to report yet on Tyler Linderbaum, nothing to report on Cade Mays, nothing to report on Lloyd Cushenberry, nothing to report on Ethan Pocic, some of the more highly regarded centers still out there. But it feels like if you're going to make a phone call and you're the Detroit Lions, that'd be a good call to make to one of these centers.
Yeah, they need a center desperately. I think it's desperately. I guess it's because I don't like the other options. I don't like the idea of trusting somebody who hasn't played center to move from guard over there. You got Scruggs in a trade, but is he better suited at guard or at center? And is he really just a backup?
Yeah.
But according to Pro Football Focus, when he did play the games at center, he graded out like halfway, through the league. Somewhere in there, I think it was 16th and 15th or 16th in the league. At the same time, where Graham Glasgow did not, he was much worse. So maybe he is an upgrade, but he hasn't played that many snaps there.
Also, edge rusher, you and I both think they'll go veteran, and it feels like Cam Jordan would be the type of player that would sign there. Calais Campbell is also available, another guy that seems to check a lot of boxes for them with some wear on the tread, but at the end of the day, kind of player that would be a 1 year cheaper contract. And you might not want a cheaper guy. You might want him to go Trey Hendrickson. But if you're to prioritize, I think most of Detroit would agree, and we're not really breaking new ground here or rattling cages with a hot take. I think most of Detroit would agree center would be a priority over edge rusher. But, if they do decide to go big, Trey Hendrickson's out there. I'm not a fan at this point in his career, unless he comes on the cheap, and there's no indications that he would come on the cheap.
No, because he shouldn't. He was hurt last year, but the previous 2 years he had 35 sacks in those previous 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's deserving of a monster contract, which is what he wanted from Cincinnati. He wanted an extension. Cincinnati just kept playing along and didn't do it. They didn't trade him when they had all types of teams that were inquiring about him. Did Cincinnati make a mistake? Yeah. I think they made a huge mistake.
As far as edge rushers concerned, you and I both went on the record at the beginning of the show saying we would have paid what Baltimore paid for Max Crosby. Certainly Baltimore had a better first-round pick this year as far as what Vegas got back, so you would have had to add a sweetener to make it worth them not taking the package of picks from Baltimore and taking 2 picks from Detroit and maybe a mid-round pick or not a particularly consequential player. But if I were in the Lions' shoes and could have made this trade, this is one area I think that I have I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't do it. Now, maybe they did also offer 2 first-rounders, and they just said, nope, we got a better offer. We're going to take that. But to me, Scott, I would have done it. With that said, I also don't think the only way to an NFL championship is through having Max Crosby, the other edge opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Would have been a pain in the butt for teams to deal with, but might be a missed opportunity in my opinion. But there are other ways to get it done. We'll see what they decide to do.
Yeah, I mean, when it became more apparent last week that after some reporting on it that a restructure of the deal could have made it totally palatable for against the cap, that led me to thinking, okay, maybe this is something real. This could actually happen. But we kept hearing 2 first-round picks and a player. Well, the player wasn't involved. It was just 2 first-round picks. And unfortunately, Baltimore has a higher pick than the Lions do. We don't know if the Lions got involved. I sure hope the Lions were involved, that they picked up the phone, that they talked about it. And if they didn't, they better have a good plan. I think this offseason is really important for Brad Holmes because this is uncomfortable territory for him, I think, or at least it's just different territory. He hasn't had to do what he's going to have to do this offseason. It's a little bit more like his first offseason because he's not rebuilding necessarily, but he has to rebuild an offensive line, and he has to add some serious holes to a team that's already a good team.
248-539-9797. Let's get back to your open line calls. We go to E in Detroit. You're on 97.1. Hello, E.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I got a champ and chump for y'all.
All right.
My chump, I got to go chump first because it's chump of the year. Tom Izzo. Last Thursday, instead of celebrating your senior night and celebrating your seniors, you go on there and say, well, we let up. That's why the team almost came back. We let up because we're getting ready for Michigan, this, that, and the other. And you still lose by 10. Not only do you lose by 10, you get in the press conference and you say, I'm nobody's, I can't say the word, little brother. You lost 2 times this year. The little brother role came from football. It ain't even dealing with basketball. But you lost twice this year. And my champ, of course, is the Big Ten champ. 29 wins this year. We should have beat Wisconsin, but we let up because we're looking forward to the next game. We should have been undefeated in the Big Ten. It's okay, though. As long as we get that national championship April 7th, that's all I really care about. Go Blue and my chuck.
I'll just say this. I think Izzo was joking about the Michigan thing after the game, and they put the seniors in, and that's what led to the comeback. But I think that was a joke.
And then Jeremy again. I got to jump 2. I got to jump A and B. Jeremy, come on, man. You wasn't falling, bro. He did not push you that hard, man. You in the weight room. Bro, that's your signature go-to. And I'm glad the referees teed him up for that yesterday. Go Blue, national champs. Let's go Lions. Make a move, please.
Thanks, E.
So have you seen the numbers on Kenneth Walker's contract?
No.
It's not bad. It's one that if the Lions are going to have to give an extension to Jahmyr Gibbs, isn't this what you're looking at? The deal, according to Jordan Schultz, is 3 years for $45 million. For $43 million, but it could be worth up to $45 million. $15 million a year. It's running backs. They don't get paid.
Yeah.
They used to be the highest paid players in the league were running backs.
Yep.
Now, it's one of the least paid position groups.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would have expected more, but I also don't think he would have rushed into a deal that would have, that was an underpaid deal. I think he probably had some semblance of a clue that this was the best deal for him. 248-539-9797. Jeremy in Detroit. Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, how's it going? I called in today. I want to talk about the Kenneth Walker thing. I'm a little disgusted right now, to be quite frank with you.
In what sense?
I think Kenneth Walker, one of the most overrated running backs probably of this decade, and one of the weakest Super Bowl MVPs we've had, and one of the weakest Super Bowls, and probably that I've seen in my lifespan.
Are you a Chiefs fan?
I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Are you a Michigan
I'm
fan?
actually a Lions fan, but I'm at work and I'm hearing all this hype about Kenneth Walker and how Chiefs are back and this and that. And I think Pacheco's 100 times the player Kenneth Walker is.
But good for you.
I mean,
stand up for that.
I would disagree with 100 times a player. And why do you even care? He's not coming here.
I'm sick of hearing it at work. I've been hearing it all day. Past hours and trying to eat lunch, I hear it. All I hear is Kenneth Walker this, Kenneth Walker that. The Chiefs are back. And I just think
I hope you're telling people at work.
I didn't like him at State. I didn't like him on the Seahawks. I don't like him now.
Oh, you didn't like him at State? Why not? Oh, because you weren't a fan of Michigan State. Okay, gotcha. Because I'm pretty sure every single Spartan is pretty happy with Michigan State for the 1 year. But it's okay. Good for you.
That's some built-up angst.
That's some troll.
I will tell you, if you have a problem with the people at work,
Take it
tell
up
people
with
at
people
work. And,
Oh, can you do that?
dude's pretty good.
It's a horrible choice for a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
What do you have, 160 yards or something like that?
248-539-9797, 97.1.